Good morning, everyone. Today is day 19 of Math 133, and we are going to start our candy project. Very exciting. Uh, today's a nice, easy day. So nice and relaxing. So, don't forget to do your 9.2 lecture notes. As I mentioned on the last call, we're going through chapter 9 a little more slowly than we'll go through some of the other chapters because it does take it is a little more complicated. So we did 9.1, which is due today, 9.2, which is going to be due on Thursday, 9.3 we're going to skip 9.3 and go to 9.4. So anyway, but today we're just going to touch on that stuff because we're going to be much more focused on candy. So go grab your bags of M&Ms and Skittles, and you'll probably also want to grab like a cookie sheet or a cutting board that has a lip on it, just so your candy doesn't roll off your desk and onto the floor. Um, I've washed my hands, I've washed my cookie sheet, and I'm ready to go. Um, Okay, so in Canvas, there are two links for the two things that we're going to be turning in today. One is just a picture of your candy, and then the other one is the one that we're going to be using throughout chapter 9, 10, and 11, which is going to be the data and the graphs. The graphs, not so much, but we're going to definitely be using those tables over and over and over. Um, So, uh, the question that we're gonna be looking at. You've got your bag of candy already, okay? But if we were actually doing some kind of hypothesis testing or some building some kind of confidence interval, um, we wouldn't actually go out and get anything first. The first thing we would do is we would say, okay, what question do we want to answer? I'll give you an example question. So the example question I have today is, yeah, a paper plate sounds great. Good job, Stella. Question I have is, what percent of M&Ms are red? What percent of M&Ms are red? Um, well, we kind of already know the answer because there are six colors of M&Ms, and when we're asking ourselves what percent of M&Ms are red, we're asking out of the population. The population is all M&Ms, all M&Ms in the world, all M&Ms that the company makes. I think the company is it called M&Ms or is it called Mars? What, I don't know. Whatever the name of the company is, uh, what percent are red? We can assume that they make the same. Uh, we can assume that they make the same number of each color. So if they're making them in equal proportions, then 1/6 or 16.7% of all M&Ms are red, right? So we kind of know the answer already. But let's assume instead, like we asked ourselves a question that we didn't know the answer to. Like, what if I asked, like, what percent of Americans have red hair? That we don't know the answer to. Okay. And we can't really measure that because you can't go and talk to every single person in America. Okay. Population is just too big. So we would take a sample. Okay. Now, for both of those questions, what percent of M&Ms are red or what percent of Americans have red hair? Um, are we talking about means or proportions? Okay. Because in chapter 8, we said there's a central limit theorem for means. That was on page 184. And there's a central limit theorem for proportions on page 189. And they're very similar, but they had some minor differences specifically around what makes them normal and also what formula we use for the standard error, right? So minor differences. Um, but that's a question for you guys. If I asked what percent of Americans have red hair or what percent of M&Ms are red, are we talking about means or proportions? Hold down has got it. We are talking about proportions. Okay. Um, So that's what we're going to be focused on for our candy project. We're going to be using this data for chapter 9, 10, and 11 projects as well. Our chapter 9 project is going to be on Thursday. But we could have done the same kind of thing if we had been looking at means. Okay. Um, so anyway, that all said, let's go into Canvas and let's get started. Let's click on our Chapter 9, 10, 11 Candy Projects info and pictures. And once you do that, there's a link. You'll click on that. That'll take you to the Google document for the info and the pictures. We'll do File, make a copy, and it is not fall 23 anymore. It's spring 26. Yes, I am doing the same thing in the night class. Uh, so if you uh, are not able to attend this morning, you can attend in the night. I'm gonna probably use the same bag. So I'm gonna once I'm done, I'll put my candies back in my bag and reuse them. So um, yeah, no worries. Okay, so I'm also going to open the other file as well because we're going to work on these kind of together. So I'm going to jump back over here to Canvas. Oh, and I should drop the link in the chat for you. Give me a second. Let's see. All right, so let me get the link for you real quick. All right, there's the link for info and pictures. And now let's go and get the link for the data and graphs. So we'll click on that in Canvas, data and graphs, click on the link. That's going to open this. And there's that link as well. And we'll do file, make a copy of this. Also recording this, so if anyone wants to go back over it, like you didn't buy your candy yet, that's okay. You can come back and watch me once you've got it, right? This assignment's due on Thursday. So all right, I've got my two different Google Sheets open. One is info and pictures, and one is the data and the graphs. Okay. All right. Um, all right. So on the info and pictures, so we've got our M&Ms. We've got our Skittles. To document the candies for your instructor, you need to organize the candies by color on a flat surface. Organize the candies by color on a flat surface by color. Didn't it say by color already? Okay, whatever. Take a picture of each bag's candies along with the bag. Submit the photos here, and then also do it on data and graph. Okay, so I had mentioned you want to make sure that you've got enough candies because you remember that the central limit theorem for proportions says that NPQ has to be bigger than 10. Okay. If you're doing the central limit theorem for means, it needs to be bigger than 30. So you need to have more than 30 reds if we were doing means. Okay. Or more, not more than 30 M&Ms. Okay. More than 30 red M&Ms. Okay. But we're doing proportions. So anyway, bigger bags work better. Don't make them too large. Okay, fine, 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 fine. All right, we're gonna take an M&M picture and a Skittles picture. So okay, so let's open up our bags. All right. So I bought the peanut butter M&Ms. Um, they're the best. Mine is 9 ounces, so more than 3 ounces, and there's no maximum, but oh no, there is a maximum. You can't buy every M&M in the world. If you do that, then your sample size is too large. Actually, they said that well, I still didn't get it open. Uh, you'll remember that you can't buy your sample size can't be larger than 5% of the population. So if you buy 6% of all the M&Ms in the world, your sample size is too big. I don't think anybody did that. All right. So we are gonna sort them out by color. Um, and it doesn't matter what color you start with, so I guess I'll start with red. So, red, some greens over here. What types did you guys get? I got the peanut butter because they're the best. But peanut, I can definitely support peanut. It's a good one. Good option. Plain? What?
I
What? You don't like Elaine likes the plain ones too.
I do.
Peanut butter, nice. If that's got the right idea. Oh, Rachel says peanut butter, but they were sold out of the regular ones. You wanted the regular ones. You're like, I want to join Team Elaine, but I guess I'll join Team Joe.
Yeah. I also like just peanut. Anybody
Yeah,
get
no. Yeah, Caleb said he got peanut. So,
good? Oh yeah,
mhm.
there it is.
Nice and relaxing day, sorting candy. What'd you do in your college class? I sorted candy.
And try not to eat it.
Tried not to eat it yet. So we had at least one person already that was like, yeah, I'm gonna have to buy another bag. Ate, they ate their homework. We had there was one semester where there was someone who couldn't wait. Uh, she was pregnant and had a craving and was like, yeah, I ate my homework. All right, so there we go. So I'm sorted out ish. Now I reckon, yeah. So you want to make sure you get all of them in the shot, in the picture. Um, there we go. And in my bag. There we go. All right. Now I have this fun little camera that lets me so I'll just do a screenshot of my window on my screen, but you guys can use your phone, take a picture of your M&Ms and a picture of your and then we'll do a picture of your Skittles in a second. For me though, I'm just gonna do this snipping tool. There's that. Okay. Uh, and then I need to save as a picture. Let's see that in here. All right. All right. Okay. So there's my M&M's picture. Now, I'm gonna before I go and do my Skittles, I have my M&Ms already out. I have my M&Ms on my tray. So I'm gonna jump over to the data and graphs and do the M&M part here before I go to the Skittles. Okay. So so let's open that up. So here is my data and graphs. Okay. So for the M&Ms, I need to count how many I have of each color, and then I need to put a total. Okay. So that's why I don't want to open my Skittles yet, because then I'd have to come back and redo this for my M&Ms. So I'm gonna do that right now. Okay. So first color is orange. I need to count how many orange I have. Now you can count them however you want. I'll show you two different quick ways to count things. I like to put mine into fives. That's that's probably the one of the fastest ways to do it. Because now that I've got my fives, I go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 26, 27, 28. So there we go. Do the same thing for blue. Put these into fives here. Yeah, like a circle one, like a perfect sphere one. Keeps rolling away. And blue, I've got 5, 10, 15, 20, and this lone 21. All right. This one looks like a regular one. I'll have to bite it, see if it's got peanut butter in it. I'm sure it does. All right. 5, 10, 15, 20, 21, 22, 23. Oh, it's yellow. 5, 10, 15, 20, 23. All right. I said I'd show you two ways to do it. So for reds, I'm going to do a different way. You can line them up in rows and columns. If you do that, you just got to make sure that everything is straight. So you can't go crooked like that. Okay. And it looks like I got these three left over. So all right, let's see. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns. 4 times 5 is 20. So that's 20 right there. 21, 22, 23. I get 23 again. I have a very even bag this time. Next one is brown. I don't know why they use brown. Brown is an unappetizing color, right? I mean, I guess that's the color of chocolate, but then why, yeah.
And
I
this
just
brown looks really dark in the picture, more like a
m-
purple, like the Skittles.
well, yeah, I mean, why don't you do purple? Purple's my it's much more enticing, isn't it? All right, so I have three rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 columns. 3 times 7 is 21. 21 plus 1 is 22. So very even bagged this time. All right. Um, so now that I've got that, I need to add these up. So you can type them all in your calculator if you want. I am lazy, so I'm going to do mine in Sheets, in Google Sheets, like spreadsheet. And then if I just copy those, copy my numbers here, uh, and if you highlight them all in the lower right-hand corner, it will tell you how many you've got. I have 140. So there we go. Does anyone know any other fast ways to count that I missed? I like to do the fives. But if you have a lot of things to count, like there was one time where there was a there was a reality show where They had like 24 hours to like count quarters. And then they had to stay up that whole 24 hours, and then they did a bunch of like fun, weird games afterward when everyone's exhausted. I don't know. It was kind of hilarious, but I was thinking like if I was in there counting quarters, I would definitely be doing rows and columns. Uh, Anyway, but um, okay. How many Skittles did you guys get? I had 140 this time. Or sorry, not Skittles, M&Ms. How many M&Ms did you get? 115? Sounds good. 140, 110, 102. Those all sound good. Um, so you'll remember that for the central limit theorem, if we were looking at means, our sample size needs to be bigger than 30. But if we're looking at proportions, 30 is no good. Okay. And that's because if I had 30 M&Ms, well, I'm gonna have six different colors, so I'm only gonna have like five. 30 divided by 6 is 5. I'll only have like 5 of each color. And that's not going to be a big enough sample, right? Because what if my bag only has, you know, because it's not going to have exactly 5, right? I don't have exactly 23 for all of these. I have 23 for a couple of them, but um, you know, you might have only, you know, 4 reds, or you might only have 2 reds. I have seen sometimes where people bought bags that were too small and they didn't have any of a color. So, what's your lowest number? Mine is 21, which is still pretty big. What's your lowest number? Did anybody not even have a color? 6? I only had 6. 21's your lowest. Only have 2 reds? Caleb only has 2 reds. And that's fine. Okay. For this particular case, we're not going to worry about it. If we were doing a real sample, like if I was looking at trying to figure out what percent of Americans have red hair, and I went out and I asked 140 people, and only 2 of them had red hair, that sample size is not big enough. We need n times p times q to be greater than 10. In other words, I need to have a little more than 10 people that have red hair in my sample in order for it to be a valuable sample, in order to actually make any kind of valuable conclusions around it, right? Because we said the central limit theorem is going to really be helpful, but if your sample size is not big enough, you can't use it. Okay. Um, Now, uh, maybe, red hair is kind of a dumb thing to look at. Maybe you want to look at something that actually matters, like you're trying to see how effective a vaccine is. Okay. So if I want to do that, I need to test that vaccine, right? When they came up with the COVID vaccines, they wanted to see how effective they were, right? Before they released them to the entire population. They have to get like FDA approval and stuff. So they do a sample, they do a test with some people, and then see, we give you this injection, and then after a certain amount of time, did you, get COVID? Did you, or did it, are you okay? Um, so if we're looking at that, you want to see effective rates that are like 99%, right? Or 95. I think that the vaccines aren't that high, but anyway, that's what you hope to see, right? You want to see like 99% effective. And if that's your P value, that means your Q value is only 1%, and you need to have at least 10 people that got infected with COVID. So you're going to need a big sample, right? You're going to need like 1,000 people or more. Okay. So anyway, for our case, if your sample is too small, so like Caleb said, he has only 2 reds, that's fine. Okay. We are gonna, I had told you go buy like 3 ounces of candy. I bought 9 ounces of candy, 16 ounces. It's a random sample. And since it's a random sample, you, first of all, didn't get to pick who or which candies showed up in your bag. Okay. So it's not your fault that you had two reds. Okay. And that's okay. Um, if that was to happen in, the real situation, like if I was looking at like, okay, I want to know what percent of people have red hair, and I only get two redheads, I'm going to need to go back and get a new sample. Okay, that's what you would do. Okay, so it's not that difficult, not a big deal, but I'm not gonna but we're gonna keep going. Partly because I want to see what happens in the chapter 9, chapter 10, and chapter 11 projects if your sample isn't too big. Um, so what happens if we don't satisfy the central limit theorem? Okay. So anyway, whatever numbers you got are fine. Let's move on now to Skittles. Okay. So at this point, you've entered your stuff for M&Ms. We are done with the physical M&Ms. We will need these numbers, this data, this table here for the rest of the semester. So don't lose this table. But at this point, you can start eating your M&Ms. So I can't eat mine yet. I need them for tonight for the class. But all right, so we're going to do the exact same thing for the Skittles. So we're going to dump them out, sort them by color, count them, put them in the table, and we'll be good to go. Okay, so here we go. I got 9 ounces of Skittles as well. If you got a different number, like if you got like 3 ounces of an M&Ms and like 15 ounces of Skittles, so you're like, I really like Skittles. So that's totally fine. No big deal. You did not need to get the same number. And actually you won't have the same number because they're not the same size, right? I guess if you do the plain M&Ms, they'll be the same size as the Skittles, but yeah. So sort of my color. Uh, Now, I asked like what flavor M&Ms you got. Everybody had to get the same flavor of Skittles because for chapter 11 we're going to be talking about the colors that match. So you needed some red and you needed some yellow and you needed some green Skittles. Um yeah, I agree with you, Elaine. These purple Skittles really do match the color of the brown M&Ms.
Yeah, they look so dark.
Yeah.
And then
Um
the yellows and the greens look brighter.
oh yeah.
Don't you think?
Uh
Maybe it's just the camera. I
Yeah,
don't
it's
know.
probably the camera. Like, so for me, this cookie sheet came out of the dishwasher. Um, and every time I use the same cookie sheet. Um, but when it's zoomed in on it with this camera, it looks like there's like little spots of grossness. And that's just like baked on, but like I'm sure some of the
My
people
cookie
on
sheet would look
the
far
call are
worse.
like, yeah, I'm sure some of the people on the call are like, Joe, that looks gross.
It doesn't really.
Um, okay, fine. Um, so okay, so I was gonna ask, I didn't ask, I got to ask the question with M&Ms, but if you did get to pick whatever Skittle flavors you wanted, which bag would you guys have gotten? I don't, there's like tropical ones, right? And wild berry and things. What would you guys have gotten? Sour Skittles, okay. Purple bag. I think
I like the orange and the yellow, and I think I'm opposite of you.
you like the orange and the yellow. I like the orange. Um, I don't like the yellow ones. The lemon ones. Yeah. They're okay. I'll eat them. Um, but
After all, they are Skittles.
they they are Skittles. Yep, absolutely. So they had been doing green apple for a while there. And they got rid of it and went back to lime, and I was very upset. Lime and lemon to me like taste pretty much the same, so I liked the green apple.
It was probably because of me that got rid of the green apple.
You didn't like green apple? Yeah. Wait. Go. I mean, I kind of jiggle it around so I can get a good picture. Almost. All right, here's my bag. Some of them up. Obviously, with your phone, you can zoom out a bit, so that's fine. Um, okay, that's as good as I'm gonna get with it all zoomed in like this. So there we go. And we'll save that. And here's my Skittles picture. There we go. So that's it for the info and the pictures. I guess it's not really info, there's just pictures. So that one's ready to submit. Um, so we can do share, change the restriction to anyone with a link, copy our link, and make sure you put it in the right assignment. So once you've got your picture attached to your document, info and pictures. Oh, students. So submit my web URL and paste that here. Yeah, submit assignment. Got workmanship confetti. So, all right. So that's it for my info and pictures. Now I need to do my counting, my Skittles, right? All right. So got a lot more this time. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 1, 2, 42. Oh, 40, purple's last. I should have done orange. All right, orange is first. Ah, whatever. I mean, you don't do them whatever order you want. You gotta do all of these. Five, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 42. Holy smokes. Getting very even bags. So green. I mean, my confidence intervals are going to be like smacking on this time around. Usually they're off by a bit, but oh, no, I'm still on camera. We're good. I got these four here. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. 54. Okay, got a lot of greens. 54. Next is yellow. What rose this guy? When you're doing rows of columns, you do have to make sure that everything's nice and straight. So if you want to be messy, do it by fives. All right, I have 5 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 columns. So 5 times 9 is 45, 46, 47, 48. 48 yellows. Gross. Give me more yellows. All right. Lastly is red. Yellow and green. Those are the least. Those are the worst. Red's the best. I like. What color do you guys like the best out of all of the normal Skittles? Red. There we go, Rachel. Appreciate that. Yellow and green. Gross. Green. Okay. Green's slightly okay. Rachel is Team Joe now, but only because they were out of the plain M&Ms. Someone bit this one. You ever had peanut butter? All the peanut butter ones are good. I mean, if you don't like the peanut ones, I don't know if you'll be like, oh, but the peanut butter ones are good. I don't know. Hopefully. All right, are my rows nice and straight? I think they are. I have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 columns. 6 times 8 is 48. 9, 50, 51, 52. Okay, well, extra, they gave me some extra red, so I'm happy with that. That's good. And now my totals equals sum. These ones 238. There we go. Yeah, so that was with 9 ounces of Skittles. Still took me a little while to do it. So if you have like 16 ounces, or if you bought like 3 pounds of Skittles, you're gonna be counting for a while. But a larger sample size means your data is gonna be super accurate. So your confidence interval is gonna be nice and tight. Your hypothesis testing is gonna be accurate. So anyway, um. All right, so we have a couple more things to do. We have to create a bar chart of your M&M data in StatCrunch that displays each color with its value shown above the bar. You must type the M&M chart above without the total into StatCrunch, and then do graph plot with summary. All right, so let's open up StatCrunch. And sign in or register. Okay. And then just hit the orange button here in the middle. And we need our data chart. Now, they said that you have to type it in. You don't have to type it in. You can just highlight it and right click, copy, and then come over here to StatCrunch and paste. Oh, but you can't do it. You gotta do it column by column. Okay, never mind. All right, so let's try that again. Let's do just the colors first. Copy that. There we go. That worked. Almost worked. Didn't put the color there. Whatever. All right, and then for variable two, we'll highlight our numbers, paste that into StatCrunch. Ah, come on, put it in the right spot. There we go. Okay. I don't know. Maybe typing it was would have been faster. Now I know what to do for Skittles, though. I'll be able to paste it a lot faster. Okay, so once we've got all of our numbers here in StatCrunch, we are going to do uh, stat, no stat, graph, bar plot with summary. Graph, bar plot with summary. Okay. Our categories are our colors, our counts, our numbers, and then make sure you select value above the bar. So if you didn't name the column, then that's okay. It's just var1 and var2. That's fine too. Okay. But make sure you click value above the bar and hit compute. And there is our bar chart. Okay. And we'll grab a screenshot of that. And we'll put that into our question number 3 in our data and graphs. Yep, and I'll go over it one more time. Absolutely. So come over here to StatCrunch, and so you highlight your colors, and you'll paste those in. You'll highlight your numbers. Right click and copy, paste those in. Or if you want to type them out, you can. So if you want to type the word orange, green, yellow, red, purple, and then type the numbers 42, 54, blah, 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 type those in, right? You don't have to rename these. So if I just want to leave it as var5 and var6, that's fine. So whatever way you want to do it is fine. For the bar chart, we do graph, bar plot with summary, okay? And then you select where your counts are, or sorry, where categories are. Categories are color. For my Skittles, I put them in var5, and for my Skittles, I put the counts in var6. For my M&Ms, I put them over here, and I renamed them, okay? But then you'll select value above the bar and hit compute. So these would be my bar chart. This would be my bar chart for Skittles. Now, don't do a bar chart for Skittles, okay? Because that's not what we're asked to do. For I just wanted to show you what I did for the for question 1 or for question 3. Down here, question 4, they want us to do a pie chart of Skittles that displays each color for its count. You must select the Skittle chart and do graph pie chart with summary. So this is a bar chart. We don't need that for Skittles. We need that for M&Ms. But to do the graph for the Skittles, you want to do graph pie chart with summary, but you'll select the same things. Where did you put your categories for your Skittles? Where did you put your counts for Skittles? I didn't rename them. I just put them in var6 and var5. If you do rename them, you might want to rename them M&Ms and Skittles instead of color and number, because then you'll have, if you have it as color and number, then over here you're going to have color number, which is just confusing, right? So anyway, all right, let's hit compute. And here is our pie chart, which is totally wrong because it's got all the colors wrong, right? My orange is red, my purple is green, but it's fine. We'll just copy that. So yeah. Did it get any of them right? It got none of them right. Okay, great. And then we'll paste that into question number 4. Yeah, I've said before, I love pie charts. My reason is because it's hard to see differences. If I look at this, which is bigger, my uh, yellow red pie piece or my blue green pie piece? Using your eyeballs, you cannot tell the difference. Which one of these is bigger? Using, yeah, I mean, obviously you can look at the numbers over here, but that's cheating. Um, so just using your eye, which one is bigger? But if you look at the bar graph that I made, just with your eye, you can clear it, which one is bigger, this green one or this red one. Ignoring the numbers, just looking at the rectangles, you can clearly see which one is bigger. So I think bar graphs are better when it comes to visualizing your data. So, um, all right, I think that is it for this. So we'll share that. And anyone with the link, copy the link and put it not in this assignment. I got to go to the other assignment now. Um, data and graphs is here. Oh, not that one. Uh, Here we go. Data and graphs. URL, paste that, submit. Got a victory button. Okay. And now I get to eat my candy. So, all right. Well, that's it for today's class. I'll stop the recording. If anyone has questions, feel free to stick around. Otherwise, I will see you on Thursday, and we will use the data to actually build some confidence intervals in our Chapter 9 project.